Welcome back to Birds of a Feather. This is your daily Baltimore sports podcast. My name is Nathan Stroud, and today we're going to be recapping and going over the Orioles and Rays game one of this three-game series to open up the second half of the season. The second half of the season did start yesterday after a little 4-day break from All-Star break in the first half of the season. This is now officially the start of the second half of the season, and the Orioles got things started off against the Rays in yesterday's game. And unfortunately, the Orioles decide to open up the second half of the season in probably the worst way that you possibly can. Much like the loss going into All-Star break, where the Orioles lost 11-1 to the Marlins. Yesterday, the Orioles lose 11-1 to the Rays to start off the second half of the season in just a very embarrassing and horrible fashion. The deficit below 500 drops back down to 10, so it's now a 10-game. We're back down to 10 games below 500, back down to double digits, which is obviously what you wanted to try to avoid. And again, if you look at the position that the Orioles are at this year, you look at everything that's gone on, you look at how important this month of games is, you look at how important really these next 2 weeks of games are, to start off the second half of the season losing 11-1, and also now losing 3 straight dating back to the first half of the season, and also scoring 2 runs in the past 29 innings of combined work. That is a problem. That is a severe problem. This offense, other than Adley Rutschman, is completely healthy, and we're actually about to get Adley Rutschman back soon because he is starting his AAA assignment soon, so he should be back probably within the next week or two. So Adley will be back soon, which is good. But other than Adley, this offense is completely healthy, and I know for sure that Adley is not the missing piece of this offense because we've seen Adley just not really perform over the past calendar year now, and I know for a fact that it's not him. But anyway, obviously Adley Rutschman's a huge part of this team, but he just hasn't performed, and I mean, no one really can convince me that he's the missing piece of this offense because, again, this offense has had its ups and downs all season, a lot of downs, a lot of disappointing downs as well, but 2 runs in the past 29 innings of work, dating back to the first half of the season, obviously, combined with everything, is just horrible. And it's just embarrassing. And again, to start off the second half of the season losing 11-1 is very disappointing. And being back down to 10 games below 500, you look at everything going on, you look at how important all these games are, and it's really hard just to say that this isn't over. You know, it's really hard to look at the season and say that it's not over. It is July 19th now, and the Orioles are sitting 10 games below 500, and the trade deadline is in 13 days. And the Orioles actually play every single day going up to the trade deadline, so they have time to go on a 10-3 run and cut it back down to even. But at the end of the day, we know that's not going to happen. This Orioles team just doesn't really seem like they have any fire in them. And Ryan O'Hearn and Gunnar Henderson and guys like that have all come out during All-Star break and expressed how important this month of games are and how important the second half of the season is to start off very, very, very well. They've expressed how important that is. And they still go out there and lose 11-1. They still go out there and just don't get on base and don't do anything, and the pitching was horrible, and the offense was horrible, and the game going into All-Star break, they lost 11-1, and the game coming out of All-Star break, they lost 11-1, so very poetic if you look at it like that. And also, Ramon Laureano in both of those games was the reason why we didn't get shut out. He had a ground out to third RBI in today's game, or in yesterday's game, and then going in the last game of the first half, he had a solo home run in the 9th inning. So in both of those games, he was the reason why we didn't get shut out. Shout out to Ramon Laureano for making it look a little, not embarrassing, but it still is obviously very embarrassing and very sad that this Orioles season has come down like this and has happened like this. And this nightmare will just continue for the Orioles as we move on throughout the season. But let's just go over this game. So going over this Orioles and Rays game. Again, the Orioles lose this game 11-1. They are now 43-53. They're back to 10 games below 500. It's not looking good at all. Going over the offense, literally nothing at all happened 5 total hits in the game, 2 walks, 1 total run scored in the top of the 9th inning with 2 outs. Shout out Ramon Laureano again. But Jackson Holliday in this game, he goes 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts. Jordan Westburg goes 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts. Gunnar Henderson goes 2 for 4. And also, mind you, all of the Orioles' hits in this game were collected all by 2 people. So Gunnar Henderson 2 for 4 with a run scored, and then also Colton Cowser down the lineup a little bit. He went 3 for 3. So shout out to Colton Cowser for having a great game. Shout out to Gunnar Henderson for having a 2-hit game. But all of the Orioles' hits were between 2 people. Everyone else went hitless. So Jordan Westburg didn't get a hit. Ryan O'Hearn didn't get a hit. Ramon Laureano didn't get a hit, but he did get the RBI. Cedric Mullins didn't get a hit. Kobe Mayo didn't get a hit. And Jacob Stallings didn't get a hit. And Cedric Mullins went 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts. So I don't know if he's trying to lower his trade value or what's going on with that. But he just did not have a great game at all. Gunnar Henderson, obviously 2-hit game. Colton Cowser goes 3 for 3 in this game, so shout out to him. Got on base 4 times in this game, 3 hits and a walk. Shout out to Colton Cowser. That's really the only high point and highlight in this game was Colton Cowser, so shout out to him. He's been struggling here a little bit with the average and everything like that, but he does have a great game today. Average was up to a 237, so again, this offense didn't do anything at all. They scored 1 run in the 9th inning, but obviously they were already down 11-0, so that run didn't do nothing. But again, this Orioles team, just disappointing. I mean, that's really all you can say. It's what I've said all season. I mean, yeah, what are you going to do about it? You just got to move on. You just got to move on to next season. At this point, if I was Mike Elias, which I'm not, because if I was Mike Elias, I would have done a lot more things differently, obviously. But Mike Elias does have a big decision to make. Not even a big decision. The decision should be obvious at this point. The decision to sell everybody and the decision to trade guys like Ryan O'Hearn, Cedric Mullins, Tomoyuki Sagano, Charlie Morton, Zach Eflin, deciding to trade guys like that should be obvious at this point. The decision is who you're going to trade. Are you going to keep any of these guys going into free agency next year? Or are you going to literally do a fire sale and sell everybody, like what I just mentioned? And a name that is getting a lot of traction and circulation within the trade market, which I've seen a lot of recently over the trade deadline, was about Felix Bautista. And I'm just going to say this right now, if we trade Felix Bautista, that will be one of the worst things that Mike Elias can do, unless the haul is ginormous, which for a closing relief pitcher, I don't know how big of a haul that's going to be. But unless the haul is like ridiculously insane, if we trade Felix Bautista, that will be one of the most horrific decisions I would have ever seen in my life. He's under team control through 2027, so he still has another 2 full seasons left of team control. He's young. He's been excellent this season. He had a little bit of a rocky start, but he has really been great this year overall in the first half. And I expect him to have an even better second half and, overall have one of the better closer seasons in the league. Obviously, he hasn't gotten a lot of opportunities to get a lot of saves, so his save numbers aren't necessarily up there like everybody else because we're not winning games. But if this Orioles team was playing like they're supposed to, then there's no doubt in my mind that Felix Bautista would be up there, top 3, top 4 in saves this season. And probably made an all-star team as well, which I thought that he had a chance to make one this year, but, that's another story for another day. But there's been rumors about Felix Bautista. There's been rumors about Trevor Rogers as well. Trevor Rogers has 1 more year left on his deal going into, he still has all of next season as well. So we'll see what happens with that. Obviously, you guys know what I think about Trevor Rogers. He's had 6 starts for the Orioles this season. He has been lights out, excellent in all of them. So I would love to see Trevor Rogers on this Orioles team. Obviously, this might just be like a fluke, and he might just come back down to reality and do horrible sometime the second half. But I really do believe in Trevor Rogers. I think that he can be a very vital point of this pitching core moving forward, alongside Kyle Bradish. Maybe Grayson Rodriguez. Speaking of Grayson Rodriguez, I'll just say it how it is now. If you guys did not see, Grayson Rodriguez did re-aggravate his elbow soreness. So the injury that kind of set him back in spring training is the same injury that he just occurred again. So he basically just re-aggravated the same injury, and Tommy John is probably looking very likely here soon, which sucks. It really does suck because I feel like he probably should have just gotten Tommy John, before the season started, so his recovery would have been a lot, easier, and, we could have had him back by the time next season started and we'll be good to go. But now, if he's going to be getting Tommy John here soon, halfway point of this season, who knows when we're going to see him next season? It's very similar to like the Kyle Bradish situation where he got Tommy John, a little bit, halfway through the season of last year. And, we are going to be getting Kyle Bradish back soon. I think he is having one more live bullpen session. Then he is starting his AA rehab assignment, then his AAA rehab assignment, and then hopefully a major league, return. And hopefully we'll see that within the next month or so. Obviously, if the Orioles, I don't even want to say if the Orioles decide to sell. When the Orioles decide to sell, it's going to give Kyle Bradish time to not have to rush anything. And to be honest with you, if it's for the better of Kyle Bradish, if we do see him this season, I would love to see him in bullpen sessions. I would not like to see him as a starter this year. I would like to see him go out there and do bullpen sessions, have him fully 100% ready to go next season. The opening day starter of next year, unless we go out and trade for an ace. Kyle Bradish is the best pitcher on this team. I've said this consistently. Obviously, he hasn't been healthy all year, so I haven't been able to really give him his praises. But overall, Zach Eflin, Tomoyuki Sugano, Chris Rodriguez, all these guys who are healthy and not healthy. Kyle Bradish is that guy. We've seen it. He's young. He's been the Orioles' best pitcher for the past few years now. Obviously, not last year with Corbin and everything, but Kyle Bradish is still such an excellent pitcher for the Orioles. Again, big swing and miss guy. And I'm excited to get him back soon. I'm obviously looking forward to next season. At this point, I'm just looking forward to next season and the decisions that we're going to make this offseason. Hopefully, Mike Elias is gone. Hopefully, a new GM comes in. Obviously, hopefully, we get a new manager. We can kind of just retool this entire thing. Because what I've said before, this Orioles team does not need a rebuild. We don't need to rebuild the team with, new young talent. We have that already. We have Jackson Holiday, we have Adley Rutschman, we have Gunnar Henderson, we have Colton Cowser, we have guys like Kobe Mayo and Samuel Basallo. Like, we have guys on this team already. We have all the young core that you need on this team already. They just need a retool. They need a culture change. They need a manager that's going to come in here and really set the tone of things and really get these guys right mindset-wise, because I just really don't understand what's happening. I don't know if it was Brandon Hyde's fault. I don't know what Tony Mancilino's saying. And I don't really know where these guys' heads are at. But there needs to be a culture change. There needs to be a major shift in something that's not the players, in at least position player-wise. Pitching, that's a whole different story. Obviously, Tomoyuki Sugano, Zach Eflin, Charlie Morton, all free agents this upcoming year. Probably all going to get traded. Who knows what our pitching staff is going to look like here in the next couple of weeks? Who knows what our team is going to look like here in the next couple of weeks? Mike Elias might just go out there and just give Gunnar Henderson away to the Dodgers for something. And at this point, would we even really be surprised? This is Mike Elias we're talking about. But anyway, again, this Orioles team has just been disappointing overall this season, and I think them selling at the deadline is obvious. It's just kind of who you're gonna sell. I do think that they trade Brian O'Hearn. I do think that they trade Cedric Mullins, and I do think that they trade two of the three of Morton, Eflin, and Sugano. I think that they trade at least two of those three. Morton's stock has probably plummeted after today. We'll go over that in a second. Tomoyuki Sugano, I don't know if people really want him anymore. They see how many balls get put in play against him. I just don't know if teams would really want to take that risk. But I think Zach Eflin is overall, a solid pitcher that people would want to try and go get. Obviously, he's been on the IL twice this year. He's still recovering from that injury, but we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But going over to the pitching in this game, Charlie Morton in this game, he touches back down to reality. He gets the loss in this game. He's 5-8 on the season. Goes 5.1 innings, gives up 8 hits, 3 walks, and 7 runs. 8 hits, 3 walks, 7 runs, 11 total base runners, 7 runs scored off of Charlie Morton, including 2 home runs, and had 4 strikeouts in the process. But again, 5.1 innings, 7 runs, not ideal at all. Shout out to him for pushing the 5 innings at least, so that's good. But this game was far from over. I mean, after the first inning, it was 3-0 off of a Junior Caminero 3-run homer, acting like he's still in the home run derby. But he's got it. He had 2 home runs today. He's doing his thing, so shout out to him. But just a horrible game overall by Charlie Morton. His worst game, honestly, in a while. He's really put on some really good starts here recently, but this was just a complete crash and burn start from Charlie. So hopefully he can get it back together. Hopefully he can have a good rebound in his next start. But to be honest with you, I don't even know if he's going to be on the team in a week, so I really don't know what to say about that. But if he is obviously in the Orioles, hopefully he has a big bounce back week and play as well. Grant Wolfram, he did just as bad pretty much. He went .2 innings and gave up 4 hits and 4 runs, including 2 home runs as well, and just 20 pitches. So shout out to Grant Wolfram for really just putting the nail in the coffin in this game. And then Caleb Martin and Colin Selby in this game, they had 2 innings of work late in the game. They did their thing. They didn't give up a run. Shout out to them. But, the Orioles lost this game 11-1. Very disappointing. Very upsetting. There is obviously another game today. And it is going to be Dean Kramer versus Zach Littell. Zach Littell has been a very solid pitcher, but Dean Kramer has been the best Orioles pitcher this year in terms of starting pitcher-wise up to this point of the season on July 19th, 2025. Dean Kramer is, definitely the best Orioles pitcher right now. If you look at a stat sheet of kind of the Orioles, pitcher leading stats, Dean Kramer's pretty much leading in all the categories pitching-wise this year. But a big part of that also has to do with the fact that he has not been injured all season, which he has struggled with in the past as well. So shout out to Dean Kramer, shout out to his health as well for staying healthy this year. He's been solid. Obviously, he's not been great. To say that your best pitcher is a 4.24 ERA, for a lot of people, that would be ridiculous and horrible, which it is. I mean, it's the 2025 Orioles. But Dean Kramer has been the overall best pitcher for the Orioles this season. Better than Tomo, better than Zach Eflin. Obviously, he's been on IL twice. Trevor Rogers, you can say, has been the Orioles' best pitcher. Again, the sample size is smaller. That's why I'm not saying him. Just because the sample size is smaller. Obviously, Trevor Rogers has been the best performing Orioles starting pitcher this season as a whole in his 6 starts that he's had. But Dean Kramer, obviously, his sample size is a lot more, and he's just been the best, I guess, overall pitcher in the starts that he's had. So, Dean Kramer, a 4.24 ERA, 8-7 on the season. He's been okay. He's been okay. Maybe teams will try and reach out for Dean Kramer. I'm not sure. Who knows? But Dean Kramer overall, he's been putting up some really good starts recently, and he's had some really, really good starts for the Orioles this year. It's either been one way or the other. So hopefully Dean Kramer can have one of those good starts today against the Rays. Again, a lot of people might think that this game might be pointless because at the end of the day we're going to sell, but anything's possible, and every single game matters, and I'm not going to quit believing until it's really over. Obviously, I said earlier in the episode that it's over, which it probably is, but obviously I'm going to root for this team every single game at the end of the day. I'm going to want this team to win. I'm going to root for my team to win. Is that okay? Is that okay, guys? I'm going to root for my team to win. But the Orioles... Again, I'm going to root for them to win every single game. So hopefully Dean Kramer can have a extremely, extremely good start, much like the starts he's had recently. And hopefully the Orioles can end this losing streak, get a win today, and hopefully move in the right direction moving forward throughout the start of the second half of this season. But thank you guys so much for tuning into and listening to this episode of Birds of a Feather. If you like this content, make sure to subscribe to the YouTube and also give the YouTube video that you're watching a like. Make sure to follow up on the Spotify as well. I appreciate all the support you guys have given me, and if you want to look at more content as well, make sure to follow the X account. Make sure to follow the Instagram. I'm posting updates on my Instagram every single time an episode goes up, and I'm also live tweeting the games on my X account. So make sure to give those a follow. It's going to be in the bio of whatever platform you're listening on, so make sure to give those a follow. Again, this Orioles season has been just extremely disappointing, extremely crazy, but I've had the time of my life doing this show with y'all, and I don't plan on stopping anytime soon. So again, thank you guys so much for giving me this opportunity to really just talk about what I love most, which is the Baltimore Orioles and the Baltimore Ravens. Ravens content, again, just right around the corner. Training camp started this past week, but it was just for rookies. So not everything is fully set in stone, but once that starts up, obviously we're going to be talking about everything Baltimore Ravens related when that comes around. Football season's around the corner. Obviously, with the way that baseball season has gone this year, I could not be more excited for football season to start. Obviously, when you look at the Ravens roster and how complete it is, it's going to be a very exciting season for the Ravens, and hopefully it's nothing like this Orioles season, or we're going to have some problems. But again, thank you guys so much for watching this episode. I'll have an episode up sometime later today, actually, going over the game tonight. So see you guys then. I'll see you guys the next one. Yo, greatest Sales Day. Go O's, go Ravens, and I'll see you later. Peace out.